Hey, Twitch.
Star 2.
So Sid, we cannot
Hold on,
hear
yeah.
you
You
on
don't-
the stream,
you don't
but we
exist.
can
Hi,
hear
Twitch.
everybody else.
I'm so glad I asked all of you to go watch the stream before I did this. I do this every time. I should just keep my mic on the same. Just keep my mic on the same channel as you guys. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the second episode of the second campaign of the Second Star Studios production of Injustice.
It's a lot of twos.
Yes.
I feel like you starting over is more of a theme song than our actual.
Damn. Do we have an official theme song yet?
I'm working on it.
Second Star
unironically.
Studios.
Second Star Studios.
It's the same one that we use for everything. AC. What do you mean?
That's fair. That's fair.
So welcome everybody. This is our switch to Pathfinder 2nd Edition system. It's also our second campaign as a group. We've been playing together for approximately 3 years in the Dungeons and Dragons
Almost
system.
4.
Almost 4 years in the Dungeons and Dragons system, and we have just started over brand new at an entirely homebrew setting. Obviously this is session 2, so if you're confused about what's going on, there's a good reason for that. You should go check out episode 1. But Cameron is going to give us a brief recap of the last episode. I'm going to change the music to something a little more...
Recappy.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, go for it.
Hello, music.
So last time was our first official session, session 1. We find ourselves in the Eternal Justice of Astropor, where the populace is ruled by 3 laws. The Order of Mastery, which essentially means there can be no enslavement or restriction, like restraining of somebody unless you physically restrain them, so you can't like put handcuffs on anybody or tie them up. The Order of Magic, which says that mortals are not allowed to utilize magic and in fact cannot utilize magic. And the Order of Measure, which essentially means that all people in the Justice of Astropor live to 100 and then they ascend on their zenith. There are a couple of other individuals who live for longer. They are known as witnesses. Their purpose is to sort of have a longer view of history and advise the essentially the Senate in this world. There are other sort of lore things that happen that include like the Vaenai Empire, which is seen as sort of a major threat. So our team was sort of introduced in a classroom. It was the last lecture before summer with Professor Oswat, who was giving a lecture on civics and various historical sort of themes. This class included Seri, Topharos, Chakai. I'm sorry, is that the
No, that's
correct
right.
pronunciation? Chakai,
Yeah,
okay.
Chakai.
Oleander and Vezrin our sort of team lead, Ganyan, entered late and disrupted the class, and Professor Oswat basically gave us an opportunity to get out of class early if somebody could explain the history of the Justice of Astropor. So Vezrin, played by me, volunteered to do that and was moderately successful.
Yeah.
Successful enough to have us dismissed from class early. Part of this retelling included a mention of the 9 mages who escaped to Astropor and have historically been referred to as the Weepers. So we were released early, headed out to the quad, and we ran into this racist asshole named Dalian, who was giving a lot of shit to Topharos, and Evie intervened with her steel-toe boots. Evie is a witness to be. She is known as a Hexalid because of the shape of her pupils. Gifts were distributed by Ciri, and it was sort of noted that Topharos' uncle has a Zenith ceremony coming up. There's some other lore stuff there, but the group, including Ganyon, decided to head down to the First K, which is where the Weepers are said to have originally landed, on the Brightscale coast. And we had our first sort of encounter with the witnesses. Amako Dana, who is the oldest human witness, and Nomen Soldat, who is the second youngest witness and is an elf. It was also noted that there was a large ship in the harbor, part of the Alabaster Fleet, sort of a privateer navy. They're here for a couple days to trade. Of note, they all have this albatross tattoo on their bodies. We head to Nikoi's Wonders from there. He is a Nagaji, which is pretty uncommon in Astropor. It's sort of like a reptile, snake, humanoid species. And Ganyon and Nikoi go off to discuss something. And the rest of the party goes down into the basement, where we find a sigil underneath a rug. And Evie is magically entranced by the sigil, I would say, and we are transported to a cave. We explore the cave while carrying Evie with us, and come across this crystal cube, which, if you were tuned in, looked remarkably like the animation that we were watching at the start of the stream. And as well as a Venara who has been mummified. The cube has 8 corners, as all cubes do, and they each have a rune on the corners. One representing mass or matter, one representing heat, one representing light, one representing electromagnetism, one that represents gravity, one for time, one for space, and one for consciousness or mind. And then in the center of the cube is a rune that is very difficult to make out, and is sort of shifting, and that represented life. The mummified Venara awakens, says some cryptic shit about us not being enough of us there. There's supposed to be 9. And he essentially said he's tired of standing guard, or there was something along those lines. We come to realize that the cube is the only known corpse of a Veo, which are sort of the inorganic gods that created Astropor and the larger world. We each selected, the players above table selected which rune represented us, but I think cinematically we were sort of assigned those runes.
Sure.
And come to realize that we are no longer beholden to the Etruscan law. Topharos demonstrated this by tying up Oleander. After much sort of gnashing of teeth and tearing of clothes, we started to feel water raining down on our heads, because this cave was actually underneath the main bay of Astropor, God's Eye Bay. And so we were afraid we would drown, so we sprint back to the sigil. Evie has awoken in the midst of all this and explained kind of a lot of different things that had happened, and transports us back to Nikoi's shop, and that's kind of where we finished up.
That was a superb recap. That was excellent. Very well done.
I guess
makes me happy
the
to
only
know
other point I would make
Yeah,
is
go
that almost everybody except for the witnesses have a white collar, a blue collar that is invisible to them, but the witnesses can see. And after being associated with these runes, we each now have a white collar, which is very, very bizarre. And Evie tells us that she's never seen anybody with a white collar before.
Yes, worth noting. All excellent, but worth noting. It's not just the witnesses that can see these collars. It's anyone who is a Hexalin, anyone born with the potential to inherit that role as a witness. So, right now, you're aware that in the Society of Astropor, there are 3 Hexalin that are not witnesses. Sorry, technically 4 Hexalin that are not witnesses. One of them. Evie being one of them. One of them is a much older gentleman who has retired from being a witness, but has not naturally passed away. He lives up in the hills. He has long since retired, as Amma is the oldest acting witness. The other 2 are twins, Tophros's aunt and uncle, Phoebe and Atticus. So they're very uncommon.
Atticus is also a Hexalin?
They're twins. Yeah.
Well, but you didn't say that. So Hexalin do ascend if they decide not to become a witness?
That's a very, very good question. It's highly uncommon. Everyone can make a society check for me, actually.
Also, I would like to say that the Vaya got real mad at us when we called him a Weeper.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah,
He
I
called
kind of
them
planted that.
Shapers.
Yeah, they're referred to as shapers. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, that was a really excellent recap.
Society.
Society check, yes. You'll find that on your character sheet, under skills.
Got it.
Hey,
I'm bad at society.
Ceridwen's not.
I don't know how Kijani is.
I got you mine, right? Wait, no. Why is mine?
Yes, I got Kai's
Yeah, but I got mine too. I don't
society
know why.
check.
Oh, I meant
Oh,
to.
blind GM role, not private. Understood.
Yes.
That's
That
what
is
happened.
there is a difference, but it's fine for this check. We will say Ceridwen, Vesrin, Evie, of course Evie knows, are all aware of the specific scenarios. If a Hexalin chooses not to become a witness, generally they decide early on in life that they don't want to follow the strict, rigorous training path that is expected of Hexalin who are going to uptake that role, and they make it known to the government that they won't be taking up the stole of the witness. When it comes their 100th birthday, other high-ranking witnesses attend their zenith, and there is a ritual that allows them to ascend, just like any other person affected by the Triska Law might, but it has to be kind of manually done by the other witnesses.
What if they
So
don't
what's
want to ascend?
That is theoretically possible, but remember that in this, and this is kind of a cognitive dissonance fact that you may have picked up last session too, when we brought up the fact that Tophros's uncle is going to ascend. When Ganyon brought it up, it was with much jovialness and levity, and citizens of Astropor don't view this as a funeral. They don't view it as a negative thing at all. It's generally accepted to be a positive step in one's overall life through the cosmos. So there's, and that's definitely not something that Tophros feels. You can definitely pick up on the cognitive dissonance for him, having not grown up in Astropor. Whatever other strifes he has witnessed in his life so far, this is definitely something that's causing him a lot of grief, and he's struggling to get his head around it, how everyone else is so nonchalant and jovial around this Zenith event that will take place.
what happens first?
Between what?
Does Atticus's twin sister become a witness and then perform the ritual to cause him to ascend?
They
Or
will
does
happen
he
in,
ascend
No, they'll
and
happen in
then-
simultaneity. It happens at midnight.
So does that mean that Amma retires?
Tomorrow.
Amma will get to
okay.
retire tomorrow.
Okay.
When Phoebe becomes the youngest witness.
That explains why she was so happy. I've been doing this shit for 500 years.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Basically, yeah. All right. So we join the party now, and let's just get right into it. Let's see. Not that one. This one. The party finds themselves in the basement of Nikoi's Wonders. Having just arrived back with the flash of the rune carved into the floor, you have sopping wet socks, boots, and pant legs up to the knee, or skirts if that's what you're wearing. It's quite dim in here. Evie has still these traces of bright white lines across her pupils that make the hex pattern that you normally see look like a Q facing you corner first. As she begins to blink that away and rub her eyes,
Oh, she's awake this time? She's cognizant after this?
she nearly passes out. She nearly faints at this point. This being her second time doing this, but she's a little bit more prepared for the sort of effect this time. And while she wavers and falls, like 4 of you like lean in quickly to hold her up. Kajani, if you recall at the end of the last session, in order to activate Evie's innate ability to trigger this rune, she needed to see the copper inlay in the floor, and there was just darkness everywhere. You having the vertex of light from the Veo innately just reached for it, and sunlight appeared casually in your palm very briefly. It begins to flicker and fade now.
Kijani is still on the back of Sergwin, and where before he was just kind of like holding on as he normally would. Now he has Sergwin's neck in like almost a death grip, like just holding it. You can feel he's shaking on your back, like staring at his hand, and
Hey,
you hear
buddy,
him
hey.
murmuring under his breath, "We are not allowed to cast magic. We are not allowed to cast magic. What is going to happen?" He's just
Hey,
like,
buddy. Hey. It's okay. It's okay. Off the neck. Off the neck. And
he's not very
I'll
strong.
try.
So he
I'll try
can't.
to. I'll like just gently try to put him on the ground. And,
He's just like staring at his hands.
Kichani, how did you do that?
At this moment, you hear a creaking in the floorboards above. Thump, 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 and a couple of booted footfalls. And you hear some muffled voices from up the stairs. Oleander. Yeah, go ahead and tell me.
I think that I'm still holding,
Evie.
yeah, so I'll put her down and like sneak up the top of the stairs and try to.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
You know, I'm gonna play a rogue, but did I pick stealth as one of the things that I? No, I didn't.
You know, so just roll me that. Good. 9? 12. Hey, slightly above average. Okay. As you reach the top of the stairs, one of the boards beneath your feet creaks loudly, and you can hear a little bit better now. All right, Nikoi. What's all this then? Captain, I don't know what you're talking about. How can I help? Don't play dumb with me. There was a huge spike of magical energy from this location. The windows caught it. I don't know what you're talking about. I have alchemical substances here, even magical items from abroad. You know, I am a trader in these things. Nikoi, we've been over this. I don't want to hear what you have to say. Your kind lie as easily as you breathe. Stand aside. Yes, of course, Captain, of course. Please feel free to look around. I have nothing to hide. Oleander, as you stand at the top of the stairs and strain, something very unusual happens. Just a moment, I'll get the actual...
I light the door on fire.
Yeah.
Let's
no.
go arson.
Flame on.
You'll notice you have a new ability on your actions, on your character sheet.
Oh.
Flameo, Hotman.
Yeah.
You
Apply
accidentally
directly to the door
you
frame.
accidentally activate this at this time. Your eyes become attuned to heat signatures as your vision extends into the infrared, granting you heat sight precise sense for 1 minute. Your heat sight can see temperature gradients out to a range of 30 feet, allowing you to detect living creatures and warm objects in darkness and through thin, solid cover. Warm objects block your heat sight even if they are transparent, such as hot water.
I almost fall down the stairs, but I do my best to not actually step down. I'm like,
As you can kind of now see into the cluttered room beyond the first floor of Nikoi's shop, just this figure walking around, he walks with a military stance. Saradwin, you can make a recall knowledge society check for me.
So that's just a regular society check?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can also see, Oleander, you can see the couple of lamps, sconces, fire torch sconces in the room that light the dim chamber. You can't see Nikoi, as he is a cold-blooded creature. But you do kind of hear him through the walls, but you get this infrared sight temporarily. As you can see the gentleman begin to walk around the room. Saradwin, everyone has grown quiet and you begin to listen, you recognize the voice of this person. This is kind of a beat cop, but like at the top ranks of a beat cop. He's the nephew of the commander of the City Watch, Commander Firetag. And this is Thomas Firetag, and he's kind of an upstart git. You have met him on many occasions, as your mother and Commander Firetag are close on a personal level, and you've been to dinner parties and things where you've interacted with Thomas before. You recognize his voice immediately.
We should seriously consider finding a separate way out of here.
You begin to see the man, Oleander, walk around the room, push stuff aside. As he continues to investigate, he walks right up to the door where you guys are. He looks.
Is there a separate exit from the basement, or is that the
Make
only
a
way in
perception
and
check.
out?
Perception.
Okay, we're getting there. Oh, it's the thing. Secret,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Blind. Yep.
Blind. Yeah, if you just click that, the crossed
Got it.
eye, it will roll that for me.
Got it.
All right.
Kijani is going to crawl back up Saradwin's now.
Okay.
Just like front backpack style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oleander is doesn't know what to do and figures that maybe he'll get caught and is thinking about running out. I'm not preparing myself to actually run out if he opens the door, but I am kind of.
Okay. So you're like getting ready. None of you notice any other way out of here other than teleporting to the God's Eye. This is like a basement, and it's a basement of a building that is directly on the coast. Like, it shouldn't be a great place for a basement. This should have flooded many times over.
So wait, how did he detect the magic? Like
He said something with the window.
he said the
Windows.
window.
So the Windows detected it.
The Windows detected it.
Don't know what that
Listen, every network has.
Do I know what that
ways
means?
to trace?
Yeah. I would say
packets.
that specifically Saradwin and yourself would for sure know what this is. That there are giant panes of glass, like lenses, that are up on high towers that are designed elsewhere. Obviously, they can't have been created here. But when looking through them, anybody can see magic as if it were manifest. So it just kind of makes things. It's like having heat sight. It's like infrared vision, but for magic. And it's not generally there's usually just one or two people on watch. It's not because people can't get around the Triska law, but people can use things like magic wands from abroad that are, some of which are very illegal, because they can allow you to cast like fireball, and that sort of thing is, while highly uncommon, is a big infraction of the law, and it's there's always a couple people on watch. So this is like the investigation party.
Vezrin motion because I think it's pretty clear that this is a cop, and I think I would know that Siri's background is,
Well,
or at least his
I would say.
family is like affiliated with the police. So Vezrin kind of waves Siri over to try to like walk up to the door and sort of tries to push Ollie back, like,
Okay.
and tell everybody to hide.
Yeah, as you ascend, make a stealth check. You can do so with a circumstantial +1, as Ollie points at the creaky board that he stepped on the way up. So
Okay.
take a +1 to your stealth check on that. Assistance from Oleander.
Okay. Sorry, I meant to do that blind. That's my bad.
That's okay. You both get up. It's kind of a narrow stair, and despite having been told about the creaky stair, as all of you kind of trying to crowd on together, you just kind of momentarily forget, and you take one step back, trying to put Saradwin in front, and you step on that stair. As you do so, the man cocks his head. None of you can see this except for Oleander. He goes, begins to look around.
Vezrin said, "You should all hide."
Well, Nikoi, I don't know what you've done, but we will get to the bottom of this. Filthy snake. Mind yourself. And Captain Firetag broom, 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 leaves.
This is a bad time to say this, but there's something wrong with my eye. Oh, never mind. Stop doing it. I'm gonna need some help figuring things out here in a little bit, because I don't know what I just did. But I could see him through that wall. I could see...
You could see him through the wall.
Kind of. You all were... I could see all of you, actually, in the dark
Hold on,
even.
Are you
Let me-
speaking
let
in
me look at
full?
you.
Are you speaking in full tone
No.
now?
I have
Okay.
gone to full tone, so I could be heard a little bit better.
Sari reaches out and grabs Ollie's face and turns and looks at his eyes.
Okay. You see the last vestiges of his irises just cooling off. It's like as if they were a very bright, like sort of like warm iron color.
Yeah, so there, I imagine, like, my eyes are hazel, and, like, there's, like, a orange, like, fading towards the...
like cooling cast iron. Yeah.
So, Sari's got his hand on your face, and his hands kind of smell like gooseberries. It's really actually kind of he has some nice lotion. And he's like, "Oh, that's very strange. That's not normal. No, that is not normal. We should consider leaving. Post haste."
At
I
this
think,
point, yeah, Evie
Evie's-
is starting to come to.
Evie's kind of wringing her hands and rubbing her eyes and her temples, And when she comes back fully and looks around and realizes, all of a sudden she just starts going, "It's all my fault. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. It's all my fault." And she looks at
no.
Kai, because I think Kai's the only one who's standing kind of still near her.
Yeah.
I think everybody else is on the stairs.
Yeah.
So she's gonna look at Kai and she'll be like, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you come here. Can I just fix her up?
Picture-
Like,
That is the
Just right
most
in the face.
AJ response.
No, you come here.
this is not your fault at all. Did you make this little sigil on the ground?
No, and she like won't even look at it. Like
Okay, yeah, that's
she's
a good idea.
basically
Don't look
staring
at it.
up. I don't know. I don't even really know what happened, but I feel like this is all my fault, and I feel like
Well,
if I hadn't been here, it wouldn't have
You know,
happened.
Evie, listen. First of all, you're part of this team here, right? You're us. It's fine. Don't worry about it. That you didn't
Starts
make
doing
that.
this little wobbly lip.
Now look, you didn't make that sigil. It's not your fault. Okay?
Worth noting, it is quite dark in here now. Enough light is seeping through the seam at the doorway that, as your eyes adjust, it's quite dimly lit. You can kind of see the staircase and the other bookshelves and things that are down here, but it's still very, very dim.
And I don't know what this led to, but it's a lot. I wouldn't think it's necessarily bad though. So even if it were your fault, I don't think it's a bad thing. Either way, we should probably get out of here.
I think
Time to go.
What's it looking like up there, Ollie?
he's gone. But we should probably see if Nikoi has any like bandanas or anything. Just to cover. I can't see what's going on, but if we have like a noticeable thing to somebody, should probably cover it, right? Right?
Evie, only people with your eyes can see the.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well,
And honestly, I'm not in a mood to run into any of them anyway. So.
yeah.
I think us too.
Sure, Turferos' uncle is going to be a
Turferos
different
gives a-
story.
Has a deep sigh. I had already thought of that.
Again, just in passing, we didn't mean to run into him earlier either, but we did. So, like, just saying we don't want to run into him doesn't mean that we
wasn't
won't.
right.
I mean, that's fair, but
Where's
there's a lot of
Ganyan?
people in this city. There's only a few.
That's
witnesses.
also, we need to find Canyon. And still, even if we could run into him, it's not a risk worth putting on a bandana is not a hard thing to do. We're at
Well,
like a shop.
My question
Does
really
the bandana cover an
Yeah,
ethereal
would it-
color?
would it cover it? Is
I don't know.
Evie,
but
do you know?
Testing it's the
close
only way to
cover?
find out.
Evie, so it is a projection from the skin, but yeah, like a cloak or a coat would cover. You wouldn't be able to see someone's normal like blue collar if they covered it with cloth.
If you can make it thick enough, especially in like passing glance, people don't really look for them because everyone's just kind of supposed to have them. So you know what I mean. So like unless we really draw attention to ourselves, which we should not do, then I think if we kind of maybe like double layer or put our collars up really high, or I know it's summer and like no one's gonna be wearing turtlenecks, but like if we put any kind of defense, it should be okay, at least with like a passing glance.
Sid, for my like above table knowledge, I am picturing like Divinity Original Sin 2 source muting collars. Is that wildly inaccurate from what we're?
So it's obviously not physical. I don't remember that well enough to tell you. It's like a
Like a choker, I think, is what he described it initially. Not like a prison collar. Like
right. It's kind of close to the skin. I would say maybe 2 inches. It's got a diameter, about 2 inches off of your neck. And it is made of glowing light and runes. And it just kind of slowly rotates around your neck. Are you putting something in the chat?
I am attempting to find an image just so that you can see what I'm kind of like what my brain went to.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like this, like what you're describing isn't it, but I'm
Oh,
no.
Billy.
Yeah, what you're talking about could not be hidden. You are correct, but he is
Well,
saying that
yeah.
it could be.
And my only thought was this, but invisible.
I'm looking for your.
I just sent that.
Oh, yeah, not too far off. But yeah, no. Imagine that without any sort of physical element. It's just the light, and it's a little bit closer to the neck.
Okay.
And again, Evie would tell you that it's not something that just can be seen through clothing on a general day-to-day. So.
Sounds like it looks like it'd be pretty challenging to hide that.
Yeah, that was my initial thought. But I mean, if it's just the lights and then shrunk down a lot closer to the neck, I could.
Yeah, you
I can
you
like
suspect
if you wear like
that,
a thick
with
scarf.
Scarf, yes, a scarf and a cloak.
Which will look kind of weird in the summer anyway, but it's gonna look weirder to have your collar shown. So pick your poison.
Sure.
That's why my suggestion was a bandana. But if it's that big, if it won't work, that won't work. But
Are there any? So are we still in the basement? First off.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
we should at least go talk to see where Nicole went, see where Ganyan went.
And Ganyan,
But
yeah.
also, I don't
Are-
want to. Yeah,
Are we confident that the cops are gone?
yeah. I watched him
Yeah.
leave, and then I didn't see him anymore.
Oh, so
might have
you
come back,
actually
but I
saw
heard
them
his feet.
walk
Yes.
out the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know if
Well,
it was like some
I
sort
watched
of
him walk out
ruse,
of.
and then
I
we
couldn't-
bust out of the thing, and they're like,
Haha.
"Got you, bitch,"
Yeah, could have been. Sure could be. We lost Will.
Oh,
That is a
wow.
good freeze frame though.
It's a good one.
I'll see if I can get it. Hold on.
Oh goodness. Yes, you all are still in the basement now. Oleander assures you that
Got
he watched Captain Firetag leave the building
Okay.
with his infrared sight, incandescent sight.
Vesrin slowly cracks open the door
Okay.
and kind of like looks around.
As you go to push the door open, it will not budge. It's clearly butting up against some sort of obstruction. And it opens
How long
out
were
from
we
here.
gone? What? You were muted, Chavis.
If I were in danger of having a bunch of children do magic things in my basement, I might put something in front of it to dissuade any snooping guards. Perhaps we should call out for the purveyor.
Or like,
Vesrin gives a like rhythmic knock on
Okay,
the.
yeah. As you
on
both
the
reach out.
door.
Goodness gracious. You hear the sound of scales sliding against the floorboards. Oh, thanks. The Sphinx says you are all right. Where have you been? Come out of there. Come out of there. What has happened?
We have a lot of questions.
Evie's gonna march up the stairs and stare up at him because she's real little and I know he's really tall. And she's just gonna stare and she's gonna go, "What the fuck is down there?"
That is where I keep my more
Nick,
nefarious
do you
items.
know
that-
what's down there?
Well, of course, I have a careful inventory of all of my items.
No. You said this was a new store. You just moved in, right? Did you go
Yes,
look? Did
of
you
course
see
I
what's?
did.
I don't think you did.
Little girl, I assure you, I went down there and placed all the
My
bookshelves.
name's Evie, and she's gonna go for a kick, like bring her foot back.
Okay.
I will try to stop Evie. I will grab her foot.
Whoa.
Alright.
Wait.
Easy,
Johnny's
easy.
still holding on to your front.
Seriously,
Okay.
consider-
He might be. He might be able to answer some of our questions. Don't assault him yet.
I'm happy to help.
But I can at some point, maybe, right, Vess?
We'll see.
You are a little firecracker. I have been down there. I put up all of the bookshelves and my private inventory downstairs.
Was the rug there when you moved in?
There were a number of rugs and things down there. I got rid of all but I got rid of the most smelly ones.
So there are some original to the
Well,
premises.
yes, it is a cold floor. I am a cold person.
There's
the rug.
a copper sigil on the ground.
I did see a peek
down
of
there.
that. Ornamental at best, it seems to be some sort of.
It's
not.
not ornamental.
That was the magic the guy was talking about. Just so you know.
Oh. I knew that something had happened because you see you were down there and then you were gone.
Is
Ganyan
Ganyan
and
still
I
here?
looked for
How-
you for hours.
How
Hours?
long have we been
Gone.
gone?
What time is it?
It's. He looks at the clock on the wall. It reads 9:30.
Oh my
I'm
god,
gonna
oh my
be
god, oh my god, oh my god.
So much
Wait.
trouble.
Is it
I don't
dark
care.
out?
Never mind, I forgot.
Yes, through the very narrow, small port-like circular windows that are a little grimy on the
Johnny
first floor of
starts
this room.
legitimately crying now.
The littles are freaking out.
Oh no,
It's
please,
okay.
please,
It's
it's
okay.
all right.
It is okay.
My mother
finally
is
like
going to
Evie's foot.
crucify me.
We were very worried about you. Ganyan and I searched. But
So where's Ganyan now?
he went back to the school. He assumed perhaps you had, I don't know, found another way out and hidden it behind you. Could not get back.
We'll be back in touch very soon, but we really must dissuade any other further search efforts.
Don't
Oh.
touch it.
Please.
I won't, although I have touched it many times before.
Come on, let's get you home. He says to Kijani.
Evie, I'll walk you home.
Oh, okay.
She's gonna reach up and hold Esther's hand, but she looks like
Evie, it
she's gonna
occurs
get
to you to, it occurs to you to ask Nikoi a kind of personal question.
Nikoi, before we go, you know, 'cause it's super late and all, shit. So this store is new. Where'd you come from?
Well, I moved here from just, I had a little shack up the street where you have been to my property.
No, I mean like, how do I say this delicately without, you know, social etiquette? Like you as a nursing. Where's
A Sneeple!
I don't know the
I
right
have-
term. That's
I am a Negashi. I come here from Veonaya.
Vesrin is like frozen. Her head is down. She is just like mortified.
It is alright, little one. I am used to the treatment I receive from your kinsfolk. People are afraid of that which they do not often see.
Do you know about the monkey man in the tunnel?
Shh. That was a really fun story that we told. Let's get you home, Kijani.
Bawling. Just
Monkey
as
man
though, like-
in the tunnel, monkey man. Come on, everybody.
Sarah, do make a deception check?
Say what?
Make a deception check.
Oh no. Who am I deceiving here? Myself or?
yeah.
Nikoi.
But like, but you're not really answering my question. So you're from there, but why are you here? Why are you here?
Little one, it is complicated. I am running
really
from a
surprised.
monster.
You're running from a monster.
Yes. A very, very
She's gonna look at
dangerous
Kijani
monster.
and be like, Kijani, add that to the story songs.
Monkey man in the tunnel, monkey man.
I'm running from a very
That-
dangerous
that-
monster that
a
lives
dangerous
inside my
monster.
bones. Where I'm from, they call
What?
it cancer.
Oh, that's not a monster.
It is, my girl.
I'm I'm sorry. How does... Oh. 100 years. Got it.
Yes, I am only 53. I have no chance of survival outside of Astropor. The mages cannot fix what ails me. So I live here and make the best of it.
But people aren't very nice to you.
No. But you are very nice to me, despite having tried to kick me before.
Okay, well, maybe you should take better care of your basement then.
I will make careful note of it, my dear.
Okay, good.
You should be very careful. It is after dark. This is the dock district. I don't expect any trouble or anything, but... Well,
Nikoi, before we leave, do you have any scarves on hand or anything like that? I know it's very warm for scarves, but more like I don't know.
We're trying
Desert-
something new
desert
for our group.
chic. I'm really interested in. I'm very interested in Tophros's style actually, and I'd like to emulate
Tophoros
it
kinda
as much as
scoffs.
I can.
make a diplomacy check.
Come on, Bez.
Vezran shoots Tophoros just like daggers for a split second. Sorry, it was diplomacy?
Mm-hmm.
Blind GM.
Oh, look how good you did.
I'm afraid I don't have anything like that. I have an exotic weapon that looks like a scarf, but it has razor blades hidden within it. I don't think it is what you're looking for.
Wait.
Great, can I see that?
That sounds...
I'm sure it
that
is
doesn't
outside of your
sound
price
smart.
range and proficiency, my dears, but I'm afraid I don't have anything like that. Perhaps a more conventional shop will have what you're looking for.
Can you imagine intentionally putting razor blades around your own neck?
It requires a great deal of skill.
Presumably, you.
I thought you put it around someone else's neck. I didn't realize you put it around your own neck.
Even
Like a
Depends
thing-
on
Right,
whether or not
actually.
you are using it for fashion or defense.
Thank you very much for your time. We must be going.
Be careful. So you all turn to leave the shop.
I mean, he's kind of weird, but I don't really like that people are mean to him just because of the way he looks. I don't think that's very nice.
I couldn't see him.
I do
By the
tend
way.
to agree with you, Evie.
You couldn't see. Ollie, he was like 6 feet tall. What do you mean
No,
you couldn't see
sorry,
him?
sorry. Getting back.
Are
to-
you
yeah,
okay?
No, probably not. My eyes did something weird. I could
What?
see like the
I
shapes
have
of
a
people
technical question.
through the walls and stuff,
I
and
have
the
a,
lights.
I have a technical answer.
Shouldn't heat vision also be able to see cold? Because technically it's all heat.
Yes,
becomes-
but he is room temperature, basically. He's not cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood.
He's roughly room temperature. If he were, it would show up. Yeah, it would show up if it were drastically cold.
Colder.
That's like a dead spot.
What is this? What is this that you're showing us? Is this the basement?
This is the first floor. This is the small. This is the
Oh,
shop, basically.
Start calling people room temperature reptilians.
You cannot
Wow.
fix that from the game's currently paused if you're wanting us to do it.
I wasn't necessarily, but yes, indeed. So as you step out into the dockside at night,
Oh,
No fancy.
that's why it was so zoomed. I was like, why is this map so small?
Oh.
Did you build a whole world, Sid? Is this all connected? Is this
No.
okay?
no,
No, yeah, sure. No, you
that
did
would
do
be
that would be like somebody that has too many projects going on, right? Like that'd be a little much.
I definitely didn't do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I
believe you.
really didn't.
No,
Um,
I really believe you.
As you step out, what's the intention, gentlemen?
I'm. Are there any vendors still on the dock sides?
No, not down by the docks. You know of places where you could catch, where there would be late night shopping, but it'd be more in like the ritzier retail area. Shops down here are more daytime shopping and traders. At this time of night, all the sailors and people who would normally be manning those temporary shops down by the docks are half sauced in a in a bar somewhere. It's pretty dark and quiet. You hear the creaking of the rigging, the occasional sound of the hulls of the ships bumping against the stone quay, seagulls flying overhead.
Do we still have our like school jackets?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take mine off and like drape it over my shoulders, like, and tie like a loose knot in front of me.
Okay.
So it's like kind of bulky around my neck, sort of like the kind of preppy tie the sweatshirt around your neck kind of deal. Like that's the vibe.
Sarajin reaches underneath, hit the collar of his jacket onto his shirt, and pops the collar on that, and kind of pulls it together.
Okay.
Yeah, I also pop the collar and like keep even the jacket collar too, like, and keep my shoulders up a bit more.
Kajani, who's naked, looks around.
No. Well, I will take the lei of flowers that I gave him. It was kind of going around his neck. I will double do it, so it's kind of like a smaller, closer to his neck necklace.
Like a frill.
He's stopped crying now, but as soon as you do that,
No. It's okay.
Johnny, you look
Everything's gonna be okay.
Vestrin kneels down to Evie and says, "Is this covering our collars?"
I mean, for the most part, yeah. I would be really careful. Like Ollie's kind of got his shoulders up just to keep it in place. So I would, as long as it doesn't slip. I honestly, I'm kind of just in passing glance. I can't really see him. I think, and she's gonna lean in to Vesper and be like, "I think you did it the best, though." So she'll take her jacket off and do it exactly this, even though she doesn't need to cover her.
She doesn't have a collar.
She doesn't have anything.
Vestrin just
She's still
winks
gonna
at her.
do it the same way.
Okay. Perfect.
Right. Well, let's get you home. I have a probably very irate mother to get home to, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble.
My grandpa's either going to not care at all.
Or
Yeah.
that's it.
No, I think I thought about it longer, and I think that he probably just won't care. Might not even notice that somebody's gonna care. I think that he may not even know that I'm not home yet.
I care, Ollie.
That's not that big of a deal.
Um,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
why are you rolling? What is that? Why are you rolling dice? Stop it.
Well, we've got to see if we get kidnapped or not. Like, you know.
Don't change the music. What are you doing? Stop.
Oh, it got so sinister.
Stop.
We're
Wait.
level 0.
Why is it so scary?
Everybody roll initiative.
What was the name of the captain, or whatever?
Thomas
or in his
Firetag. F-I-E-R
F-I-E-R?
T-A-G-H.
T-H. Oh man, I really fucked that spelling up in my
That's
notes.
okay.
Fire tag. It's
Yeah.
Firetag.
fire
Well, I
like
mean,
the element and then
he
tag
did
like
that
the
on
game.
purpose. He knew that you weren't gonna spell it right.
Yeah.
Viertag.
Mm-hmm.
Vesrin is
Viertag.
definitely only going to pronounce it that way, by the way.
Okay. The
I
ancestral
understand that you
pronunciation.
say it's fire tag, but the proper pronunciation, if you were to be true to your family's name, would be
That's like, so in hotels, this is complete sidebar. I used to like people who would come to check in, I would, if their last name was Wagner, I would say Wagner. And they look at me like, what? No, your last
And
name's Wagner,
or-
for sure.
And then sometimes be like, you'd actually have the German guy who is like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, very occasionally. It would
Oh,
be,
thank you.
oh yeah.
That,
Or you could have been a subpar employee like me and just say, "Hey, what's up? Here's your
Could have
room."
been, yes. Saradwin,
Yes.
what's your armor class?
Not very high. I believe it is 12.
Okay. Not Gretaquit. Minimal damage. A short, vertically symmetrical kunai, a short vertically symmetrical knife comes flying from somewhere nearby. And as soon as you don't even have time to hear it whistling through the air before it is pin cushioned in your side for 4 points. Yeah, 4 points of damage.
Sarajin falls down onto a knee and starts.
Oh, Johnny is freaking the fuck out.
Are we all still together?
Yes. We're not gonna break out into like this is gonna be theater of mind. The map is more for your ability to conceptualize the space. I'm not gonna break out into tokens, but we are gonna roll initiative now.
Dude.
Level
what?
0. Level 0.
Okay.
TPK. TPK.
One thing
is
that you all notice, this is gonna be a reveal that won't be as fun, but
There's no active combat encounter.
oh my god.
Yeah, it won't let me do anything.
Oh my god.
Oh, now I can roll it.
I have no token.
I
in
have
the
no
scene.
token in the scene, DM.
I just rolled for the disorderlies, so we have a initiative 3.
That's fair. Apparently I'm gonna have to put tokens on the scene, which is fine.
Put us in the ocean.
That's what I'm
The
gonna
token
do.
ocean.
Oh shit! I'm not in the ocean. I am back in the hut.
Oh no.
Not the hut.
Yeah, I didn't take this into consideration.
Time to change my dice because I did not know they were bright pink.
Initiative perception. Click, 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 click,
Yeah, what
click,
is
click,
that noise?
click, click.
What is that noise?
It's William's desk mic picking up him aggressively clicking.
Is perception the correct
maybe.
thing?
Yeah, in this case you will
Please.
roll perception
Well, it's-
for initiative. Yeah.
Okay.
In Pathfinder,
I'm gonna have to click a
You-
bunch of X's.
Are we rolling this as public rolls or blind GM rolls?
Because it will know the initiative.
Hey
yeah, the
yo!
initiative is public.
Okay.
Hold on.
Damn. That sucks. Dick.
I don't have a lot going on. Hey, do I have a beak at level 1?
At level 0?
No,
Yeah, sorry, level 0. Very
You've not
important
grown your
distinction.
beak yet.
Well, more specifically, do I have my beak strike?
You do.
At
You
level
have your
0.
beak attack. Yeah.
Okay,
All
that's
other
great
creatures have
news.
their unarmed strike.
Yeah, but I'm not a monk yet, so like.
That's true. That's true. All right. Good to know.
I don't think that I'm on this thing that I can roll yet.
What?
I have not rolled initiative yet, and I don't see the option to still. I'm still not on the scene
Yeah.
to roll.
It's true.
Oh. How did that happen?
It's true.
Ollie, we really need pictures. Vess,
Somebody just do
Topharos,
that's true.
Johnny.
I did roll initiative, but it's telling me I didn't. So I don't know if I need to roll again or not.
I'm going back inside.
Yeah, I didn't think this through because it's gonna be much more difficult with. Ollie, are you on the right level?
I have no idea.
Can you see the map?
I can see like a boat.
Here's what we'll do.
I can only see the shop.
I can fix this. Let's try not to waste a whole bunch of time, Sid, doing freaking technology troubleshooting. Here we go. Now you can see it.
Yeah, I mean, I
Can
could.
we?
I'm the only token that I can see.
Somebody move me.
If everyone else has blank tokens, then I can see the correct thing.
Yeah, that is true. This is where your characters are.
Yeah, I can see. I could already see the map. It was just that I couldn't.
I can't. I'm in the shop.
Yeah, being in the shop is a thing that I am right now.
Additionally,
know if
I
that's-
too.
I
am
mean,
the
I'm
shop.
in the ocean, but I can only see the shop.
No, yeah, I see infinite blue surrounding the shop. It's not actually infinite. It is finite.
Blue, red roses too. I see the blue.
Hey, William,
Red roses too.
you want to come
How
feed my
about now?
cats?
No,
I
sir.
am still
Same
in the
thing.
shop area.
Still in the shop.
Yeah.
It does not particularly bother me if we're just doing it for theater of mind, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Okay. So with that, it looks like first up is going to be Kai.
hey yo. Do I have any idea of like where the kunai came from?
Yes, it came from you can't see.
Ah, nice.
It came from
Can I?
on above you on this bridge.
Okay. Looking up there, do I see anything?
Immediately you do not. It's moonlit. It's not dark per se, but whomever was up there appears to have ducked behind the shallow wall of the bridge.
Okay. So I would like to try and grab Chavis's character that I've forgotten the name of because I'm very smart.
Sardwin?
Yep, and drag Sardwin like to essentially cover if I'm
Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to, so there's not a lot of rules in Pathfinder that allow you to like move an ally. So that will all have to be kind of on the fly, homebrewed. If Sardwin, are you allowing yourself to be dragged? Okay, we'll just borrow the D&D rules. You can move at half your speed, dragging an ally of similar size. And so you would use your first action to essentially grapple him. Your second action would be your stride action to move. You can move up to 10 feet, I think.
Probably, yeah. If it's at difficult terrain and it's at half speed, he can probably. We can't. No one can move over. 10.
Yeah, I'm at 25 currently. So
As you begin to strive to rush to cover, kind of underneath this bridge, and you're just kind of straining against the desire to be out from the open, you activate one of your abilities. So let's see here, Chokai. Items. Under actions, you have an ability called Warp Step. When you walk, the earth warps beneath your feet, your steps extend, distance contracts, and everything is just a little bit closer. You gain a 5-foot item bonus to your speed until the end of your turn. You then stride twice. It costs 2 actions, so this will be your second 2 actions of the turn, but you'll now have a 30-foot stride speed,
so
and you can
a total of 30 feet that I can move this
yes,
turn.
move 30 feet as you rush forward.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And that is that has no daily limit. That's whenever you need to do it.
Very cool.
So as you guys see a shimmer, a haze, as distance between Kai and his destination seems to. It's like the lens focus, the lens depth, the like Lord of the Rings get off the road effect. Things just get closer, and he slides underneath this bridge on a narrow part of the concrete stone cobbles with Ceridwen in his arms. That being the end of your turn, that brings us to Kijani.
Okay. Kijani was on Ceridwen, but when he got hit, kind of got off and started like, what is happening? What is that? Is that blood? And he like hasn't seen like human blood before, but he's like heard of it.
Still hasn't.
Or he hasn't seen non plant life blood before. Hold on. And seeing Kai take him off, he just kind of like looks around and like finds Evie's eyes. And how far am I from Evie?
We'll say, I mean, you guys are all in pretty close proximity to this broke out. I'd say no more than 5 feet.
He's gonna like. Can I defer my actions?
Yes, you can defer your whole turn.
He's gonna like grab her hand, and I'll defer his actions and like tell me, we have to go now, and start like running with her in tow.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's perfectly fine to do it in that order. Mechanically speaking, you can delay your turn. You hold your own initiative until a specific trigger.
Right.
And so then you would take that
the
turn.
The trigger will be her turn, I guess.
So yeah, because it's just flavorful. You wouldn't technically be holding her hand at
right.
this time
Yeah.
if something were to happen, because that's an action to kind of reach out and kind of grab her.
Yeah.
But yep, great. After Kijani, that brings us to Sari.
What is happening? Man, like level 0, bro. Like, what do you?
Yeah. What do you?
Ceridwen starts looking for a way home, like a way out. Like, I guess looking in the direction, like as he's being drug away, like trying to see if he can spot, what just threw a dagger at him.
Yeah, as you guys kind of careen under the bridge, your like eyes are darting. The sound of the brook that babbles by here into the ocean is loud enough, especially under the bridge, echoing around, that it's all that you can hear. It covers up the sounds of your heavy breathing. You hear a sign creak in the wind across the way, but otherwise it's absurd how mundane the night feels for having just been attacked in the streets. If you'd like, you can make a perception check for an action. All right. With that, you do kind of cast your eyes about, and in the distance, your eyes do land on a bobbing lantern, somebody walking, and immediately you recognize the silhouette of a civic guard. Probably Thomas Firetag, walking away from Nikoya's location. He is a little bit up the hill away from the bay, kind of like over in this direction. A pretty good distance, probably 60 feet or more. And there's no direct line where you could run to him or he could run to you, because of the way that the streets kind of meander and wind and the bridges kind of go. But like as the bird flies, he's probably about 60 feet away from you. You can see kind of his lantern in hand as he's patrolling the streets.
I'm gonna like try to wave at him and reach out and hello, help, help.
All right, you're gonna scream, call out to him.
Yeah.
All right.
Got hit with I'm bleeding.
Yes.
We'll get in trouble later on, but let's not die tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Absolutely, absolutely. The only other thing that you could think might help you to escape would be if you were to intentionally drop into the brook. The swift current would carry you out to sea relatively quickly, so those are kind of the things that flash through your head as you call out to Thomas. Is that it for your turn right now?
Yep, that's it.
All right,
All
that brings us to Ollie.
Ollie, and you said this came from the bridge, like
Yeah.
that's where the knife would have come from.
Yeah, like up here on the bridge. Yep.
I think Ollie's gonna run up to go to the bridge and see if he can make out anything.
Yeah, like run up the stairs?
Yeah.
5, 15, 20, 25. You can get like here.
At least, yeah, at least 2 actions probably to get.
Okay, yeah, you can definitely
Yeah.
get up and kind of, you run up the stairs, grab hold of the low stone wall banister and wheel yourself around. There, crouched in the shadows, is a humanoid figure that us as player characters would clearly classify as a ninja. He's wearing all black. He's got closely fitting wraps around his legs and around his forearms. He's got a hood up. He is crouched so low as to be behind this little 3-foot stone wall of the bridge.
Oh jeez, these areas are far.
Oh yeah, actually it's a 10-foot. They're 10-foot cubes. 10-foot squares.
So yeah, that
Yeah.
is me getting. That's 2 actions to get there.
As you see him, he goes to draw another kunai, another dagger.
I will take cover behind the wall with my
Okay.
3rd action.
You hear the sound of flint on
And I'll-
steel,
Yeah,
steel on
and,
stone.
yeah. And after hearing Ceridwen call it, I will also call it. There's a man in black throwing knives.
All right.
And I'm also, if I do hear it hit, I will wait and look for where that knife went. I can't do anything else this turn, but I
Okay.
want to know where the knife went.
Sure. That brings us to Vesrin's turn.
Boy.
Yeah.
Did I see where the knife landed?
Probably up here. It flicked off of this stone wall corner that
Mm.
Ollie ducked behind and went skittering over here under the cart.
Okay, so I probably can't get to it.
Oh, definitely not.
It took me
Okay.
50 feet to get to where I'm at.
Sorry, it's just my screen is like a field of blue right now, so I can't actually see.
The stream
any
should
of
have
the-
the map.
Oh,
If you're curious and just looking at it, we're not actually like moving tokens around, so.
yeah. Okay. Shit. Can I think of any reason why somebody would be attacking us?
Not in particular, unless the events of this evening have caught the attention of more people than you originally anticipated.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Jeez. I don't. What can I even do? I guess I'll go over to Siri and see if I can figure out how to help stabilize wounds or.
Absolutely,
I
you can
guess.
run up and make a quick medicine check.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Okay. As you walk up and she's just kind of bleeding. He's just bleeding from between his ribs. He's got a stitch in his breath. You look at it and the only thing you can think of is you've got to go to a Temple of the Sphinxes soon.
Do I know where the nearest one is?
Yeah, there's one not too far away from the K itself, in the first K district. Probably maybe half a mile from here.
Okay. Then I will, at this point, try to take cover.
Okay.
And try not to be impaled by a kunai.
Excellent. All right.
I suppose that's the end of my turn.
Yes. After your turn, you barely hear the sound of very soft leather slippers climbing up onto the stone wall above. As another dagger goes flying, this time over the wall at Oleander. What's your armor class?
Never mind about the +4. 13.
You probably still have lesser cover.
Oh, then. When the +2, 13 plus whatever bonus lesser cover gives.
So 15.
Is there a penalty in Pathfinder for attacking with a long range weapon up close?
Only if the weapon has the volley trait. So like longbows in particular
Yeah.
can't be used within short range because they have the volley trait, and it'll say that on the weapon. If it doesn't say it on the weapon, no, you can use a ranged weapon within any distance that it.
And
Good to know.
it's a -2.
On
If
the
you do
volley.
within the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, just a question.
No problem. All right. Well, he will miss as the dagger once again goes skittering off. You hear a frustrated as he's gonna attempt once more. Now, not even gonna go for you since you've got some cover. He's gonna look down at Kijani and Evie as he pulls back his knife. There's some hesitation as he sees Evie. He turns to Kijani. That's an 11. What's your armor class?
I'm pretty sure it's 11. Hold on. Yep, it's 11.
Maximum damage of 8. The kunai slams into you. He will take one more attack. This is with a -10 penalty because it's his third. He's gonna try and finish you off, and that won't do it. It's a 5 on the die. As the last dagger ricochets off of the
Kijani's
ground
like
next to your feet.
reaching out to grab Evie's hand
Mhm.
on his deferred turn, and the knife just like you just see Kijani's arm just turn into like almost like breaking a live branch, like it just like falls at the halfway point, and he's just staring at you now. You're muted, Laura. Okay.
All right. That brings us to Evie.
Okay, that might change things. Does Evie? She hasn't been studying very long. Would she know any kind of healing anything?
No, I don't think that you would. Healing
Okay.
magic is not studied very often, even by witnesses, because of the
Okay.
readily abundant ability to heal almost any wound just by heading to a temple. So it's often seen as kind of a waste of time to study healing magic.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know the best order for this, but basically what she'd do is she'd probably take one of her gadgets from her belt of
Mhm.
all of her tinkerings. Kind of looks like a flute almost. And because of Ollie running over and yelling about somebody being some guy throwing knives on the bridge or whatever, she would probably take her gadget and pop an end off and try and throw it onto the bridge. It's basically like a Roman candle.
Like a flare, sure.
And yeah, to either kind of simultaneously maybe hurt whoever's on the bridge and also draw attention to
Sure. So you whip out
fire tag.
a quick gadget. As smoke flares, the smell of sulfur burns in the air, and there's a bright red flare. Go ahead and make a dexterity check to throw
Okay.
this for me.
Just straight dex, nothing.
It's a ranged attack roll, but I don't think you'd be proficient in this. No, you can have proficiency. So it would be, where are you, Evie? Genevieve. It would be dexterity, which is 1 plus 2. It would be a d20 plus 3.
Okay. Oh, I can't just click on dex and roll dex.
Nope.
No.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
You can roll a physical die and just tell me. It's just plus 3.
Oh, okay.
Going old school. Analog.
That's a 17, so dirty 20.
Nice. Yeah, you lob this up. It lands directly on the bridge, continues to flare outward. Sari, with your call and now this brightly shining flare on the ground, Captain Firetag is very aware of what's going on. He has turned in this direction. He's held his lantern up higher. Hey,
Help!
what's going on?
Help!
And then I don't know.
He begins to jog in this direction.
Good. I don't know what she has left, but basically she would try, and since Kijani's kind of reaching out to her, she would try and like hold him, like steady him, and look at Vezran and be like, we have to go, we have to get them help. And
Okay.
that's probably all she'd do, because there's no way she'd be able to carry anyone. So
Okay. As it comes now to Topharos,
It's my turn.
it is Kijani's turn. Sorry, that is true, because you held your action.
Kijani doesn't even know what he did earlier. He doesn't know if he can do it again. His thought is be blinding. And that is all he's thinking. Do not have a shape.
No patrols. Just light.
And it's not even a thought. It's a it's a 10-year-old at 3 hit points.
Okay. Yeah.
When a
let's see how this-
10-year-old has 4 more hit points than you.
Yeah. The way that this resolves for you, you are also going to trigger an ability of yours. As you reach out and just try and, basically you're thinking of protection, saving yourself. Light is going to, almost like Dumbledore's Putter Outer, Light kind of bends to you and gathers in front of you. You activate an ability called Hard Light. It's on your character sheet. You pull at nearby ambient light, twisting it into the shape of a simple weapon or simple tool or item, such as a rope or a crowbar. It lasts until it is used for a single activity, until you use this ability again, or for 1 minute, whichever comes first, after which it dissipates. It emanates bright light for a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10-foot radius.
Does a shield count?
Yeah, I was going to say a shield appears on your arm, like a tall tower shield. It is an item, and you have it equipped. You're hiding behind it. and it is luminous. So you hear a shallow gasp from the hooded man.
He cannot move. Being held by Evie cannot move. Just like
Yeah.
paralyzed. His arm is like, yeah.
So all of you who have already unlocked your abilities, you'll notice that those are on your character sheet. You also have another ability on your character sheet under the feats section, which I don't have a good narrative way to introduce some of those, but just make sure you read over those. As it comes to Topharos,
Oh, sick.
well, as it comes to Topharos, he is going to, in a
Oh, that's totally what I was trying to do. Sorry.
yeah, but that's more of like a chameleon
Yeah. Gotcha.
thing than yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to like look over at Sari and Kai, say, "Run for the temple. Go as fast as you can." And he is going to also activate one of his abilities. He is going to use an ability called Borrow Time. As he reaches out to you, you reach ahead and make use of the time that is yet to be. Choose a creature you can see within 30 feet. At the beginning of that creature's next turn, they become quickened 1. At the end of that turn, they become stunned 1. So you'll get 4 actions on your next turn and only 2 on the turn after that. You're moving 1 action into the next turn that you'll get, basically.
Who did that?
Topharos.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
He has the time vertex. And he is going to... That costs him 2 actions? I say questioningly... 1 action. 1 action. So he's going to use his other 2 actions to run towards you as well. Come on, let's go! And that brings us back to the top of the round with Chokai.
Okay. Question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use warp step twice in a turn?
Sure. If you've got... It takes 2 actions. If you've got 4 actions, absolutely.
Right. Assuming I'm still holding on to.
Yes, and as you actually,
Sari?
as you're getting ready to do this, Serdwin, you kind of like something ticks in you as well, and I will give you the vertex of gravity. Your passive ability is you do not trigger traps that use weight or pressure plates as a trigger. Also, whenever you fall, you reduce the falling damage by your level. If this would reduce the falling damage to 0, you land on your feet and are not prone. You can carry 1 more bulk than normal before becoming encumbered. You increase your maximum bulk by 2, and you count it. I forgot to add this line. You count as half of your normal bulk if being carried by someone else. So basically, you are negating your own gravity by half.
Does that do anything for my
You can, I will say for this instance, for this very cinematic moment, you can use your full speed carrying him.
Nice. So I'm fucking scooting.
60 feet, yeah.
I am actually going 120 feet.
Oh, 120 feet, that's right.
Yeah, alright. We need to have one for tonight. So
Bye, Kai.
Yeah, even
Oh
Topharos,
shit! Oh shit!
even Topharos, who just like bent time to give you that extra action, like just watches you and is in kind of a bewilderment.
It's the little feathers are just flapping.
Yeah.
Fucking...
As you're carrying Sari, jumping over this brook to the other side, it rushing up between the trees up to the main road on the far side, and just kind of booking it towards the temple. Just keep in mind that on your next turn, you'll only have 2 actions. You'll be...
Sounds like I'm gonna go 60 feet.
You're right. That brings us back to... So Kijani moved his initiative down to 3. So that actually brings us back to Sari.
Oh, does that move me permanently?
Yeah, when you delay your turn,
Oh, okay.
you choose a new. Yeah, it's not like 5th edition where you
Yeah,
just do that.
no,
for that
that's
one
good.
Action.
I'm fine.
Sarah, doing anything for you?
Sarajen's just hobbling along.
Mhm.
Yep, just gonna continue trying to leave.
You'll notice on your character sheet you have a really useless ability right now.
Yeah. Well, at the moment it's useless.
Yes, that's
Me
what
too.
I'm saying.
That's
It's
fine.
really
It's fine.
worthless right now. Which we'll spend some time making sure you guys all know what your abilities are, perhaps on table at some point. After Saradwin, that brings us back to Oleander. So you're crouched behind the wall here.
Where is the dagger he just threw at me?
We'll say it's like right here.
Oh, that's way further than I can do anything with, Sid.
You're like right here.
Yeah, I have to go get it and
Uh-huh.
come back. Those are 3 actions.
Sure.
I do those 3 actions.
Okay, you rush forward, pick up the dagger, and rush back, hiding behind the wall.
Oh no, I'm not hiding behind the wall this time because I didn't take cover action.
That's true. That's true. You just have cover because it covers half of your body by being a wall. You were standing. You happen to be standing behind a wall. You didn't take cover.
Probably actually standing like beside the wall because I don't want to have to go around. I'm
Well,
doing
he's
my
standing
best.
up. He's standing up on the wall too.
Okay.
He's like standing right here on this wall.
Oh.
He's crouched and he's got like his daggers out and he's
Got it. I thought that he came up and like was standing over. When you described it, I thought that he ran
No,
up to
he just
me
got on
and
top
just
of the
like
wall and was wailing down at you.
that also makes more sense. That why it was so further like that angle makes a lot more. Like,
Yeah.
Like it just bounced up.
So that brings us to Vesrin. You see Kai and Seri and Topharos like book it. Particularly Kai. Evie and Kijani are still next to you here. Kijani has a luminous shield. Not too dissimilar from like descriptions you've read of the spell shield. It's just a physical magical barrier, it seems. But you wouldn't recognize it per se because you have never seen
Haven't
magic. Yeah.
Seen it. Yeah. Have I actually seen the person attacking us yet?
Yeah, yeah. He's hopped up. He's standing on this low wall that goes over the bridge. Kind of crouched on top of it. He's got 2 more daggers in his hands now. He's staring down at you.
Am I aware of any sort of like clandestine groups in
You're
the city that
You're
like
not.
employ ninjas?
Yeah, that's a great line of thought, and not probably too far off based on your own like deductions, but you're not aware of any. If there are such clandestine groups, they're truly clandestine, especially to 12-year-olds.
I suppose I will try to grab Evie and Kijani and run after Kai and the other 2,
Okay.
albeit significantly slower.
Yeah, they're small, but yeah, picking them both up and running is gonna be a little bit of a feat. Make for me, please, an athletics check.
Oh, good. I'm so good at athletics.
I'm
That's awesome.
small and also small.
I will be positioning Kijani towards the person attacking because of
He has a shield.
the
yeah.
shields. Yeah,
Sure.
not because I don't like Kijani.
You're muted, Chavis.
This would be a great time to mention hero points.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's a great point. In Pathfinder, at the beginning of every session, you get a hero point. It's like DM Inspiration from 5th edition. It allows you to burn that hero point for one of two miraculous effects. The first being that you can re-roll a d20 check that you've just rolled. You have to keep the new roll. It's not like advantage. But you do get to see what the result of your roll is before you decide to spend the hero point. The second use of a hero point is to cleanse yourself of the dying conditions. You can bounce back to unconscious and stable for the cost of 1 hero point. If you would be about to just bleed out with your allies having run off to fight the fight without you, you can spend a hero point to be stable. You don't come back conscious, but you're not dying anymore. There are other ways that you might get hero points, much like Inspiration in 5th edition. If you roleplay particularly well, or mainly if I remember to reward you for that kind of roleplay, you can have up to 3 total hero points. The hero point that you get from the beginning of your session is always goes away at the end of that session if it's unspent. Any hero points you earn through roleplay or good moments in the game will carry over through sessions. So at the beginning of this session, everybody has 1 hero point.
I'm kind of at a loss right now.
Yeah. So did you roll this publicly? You did not.
No, I rolled it privately. Athletics.
Yeah. So you were able to kind of scoop them both up, but it is because Kijani is not being helpful at all. He's kind of in panic mode. Really difficult to wrangle them both. I would say you could only probably move about 10 feet.
Oh boy. Okay.
If you decided to use a move action. If you use 1 action already to grab them both. So you have 2 actions remaining.
Let's... Okay, so if I have read about descriptions of spells previously,
Probably as a pastime. Punishing curiosity.
and being aware that the Triskel laws don't apply to us anymore,
Yeah.
I would like to attempt to cast literally anything in the direction of this ninja guy as sort of like a last ditch effort.
Okay. Make a blind arcana check for me.
Okay.
You hold out your hand. And nothing happens.
Fuck. I think that's my 3 actions.
Okay. That will bring us back to his turn. Let's see. This is what I want. As Captain Firetag comes running down the hill. What's going on over there? You see his armor kind of clinking as he runs. He draws his sword. The man kind of up on the... He looks down. Takes a dagger and hurls it at Captain Firetag. The armor finds... The dagger finds purchase, even, and finds a chink in the armor. Oh! What the damn hell? Don't you know I'm the god? as he begins to make his way forward, this guy's gonna try and silence him again. Where did my D20 go? I can't try and kill him without my D20. Okay, there we go. I'm just blind. Don't worry. That misses horribly. He is going to then use an action to begin to retreat into the shadows over here. He hops down off of the bridge and runs across and hops up onto the eave here, where this is going to connect to this like vine rose covered awning that comes out from this mill house where the water mill is, the water wheel. And he's climbs up and begins to kind of skirt away over the rooftops. He doesn't get too far, but he gets like beginning to climb up here. After that, it's going to be Evie's turn.
All right. Seeing him try and take off, she's going to like look around on her belt and take out one of her other trinkets and like mess with it and kind of adapt a little bit. And then this one, she's going to ignite and throw not at him, but like in the direction that he's running towards and jumping around on the rooftops and everything. And it's gonna be like a combination smoke stink bomb.
Okay.
So to cause kind of like disorient his sight, but also make it real stinky. So
okay.
So she's gonna try and throw it to mess up his escape route.
All right. So you pull out and do another quick alchemy.
While still trying to keep Kajani upright.
Make another D20 plus 3 check.
Okay.
To throw the bomb.
Oh, that's a 19. So 22.
Excellent. Once again, you have just a really good pitcher's arm, apparently. As it lands on the roof, the slate roof right in front of him, there is a flash. There's kind of a cry of surprise from Captain Firetag as well. What? As the man nearly falls off of the eaves he's balancing, but manages to catch his balance. Covers his face with his arm.
And she'll look at Kajani and Vesper and be like, I made it extra stinky. And then I guess try and move.
You are being grabbed right now by Vesper.
Oh, I forgot Vesper has it.
You can wriggle free.
No. I just forgot that she was holding us. No, I think I'll just maybe move slightly so that Vesper and I are blocked with Kajani's shield a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit better. But I don't think she would actually try and leave Vesperin, so.
Gotcha.
So she's good.
That brings us back to Kajani.
Kajani will kind of realize the situation that he's in, being the shield. And I know that mechanically there's not much way to do this, but just to make it so that he's not like resisting or just being dead weight, he's going to think of his father and his family's origins and take those root legs of his and just squeeze, just get around Vesrin's like middle section, and just he is not going anywhere. Like,
okay.
He's Grooting.
Completely, yeah.
I am Root.
I am Root. No.
Perfect.
And he'll like keep holding up the shield, and just I don't know. I guess that's all. There's not much else that he can do. I guess he'll prepare the raise shield action. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't
prep it, but yeah, I know.
Yeah. You can raise your shield as an action, and that adds the shield's bonus to your armor class.
Oh, then yes, I will raise shield.
Yeah. Just so in Pathfinder, just by the nature of just carrying a shield, does nothing for your armor class. You just spend an action on any given turn to hold that shield up, and it will add to your
which
armor
brings
class.
up a question for me. It lasts until it is used for a single activity. Does this count as using it?
So yeah, generally an activity would be like a multi-action thing, like dig a trench. Like it's not that limited. It's just until kind of. Usually, I think the minute is going to be the limit, and I may just rewrite that because I don't want to keep track of that. Because I don't know why you'd want to summon a weapon and then just like make an attack with it and be done.
Raise shield.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, that brings us at last to Topharos, who is also making his way up to the temple. He's just
Can we see anything more? Sorry, can we see anything more about this guy now that like the light is kind of on him and the?
So he's
or this
still
person?
a good distance away from you. Your light is emitting 10 feet and then 10 more feet
the
of
flare next to him or anything like.
Yeah, that's true. If anything, the flare is allowing you to catch that silhouette of him a lot better. But you know, it's that super bright red light. That almost is more disorienting than helpful. Definitely makes it easy to see the flare, but stuff right around the flare almost becomes more obscured in the darkness. You can tell, like I said, he's wearing very dark cloth
Can we
clothing,
tell like
probably
size,
not armor.
general like shape?
He's humanoid. He or she is humanoid. Probably adult human-sized. Very lithe, quick.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Yep, no problem. Topharos again also begins to climb up the mossy embankment on the far side of the brook, following after Kai and Serdwin. At this point, Captain Firetag is like, he's got his hand pressed against his armor and there's blood coming out, and he's looking around. He sees Kai and Serdwin just almost Roadrunner, just absolutely blazing up the hill. He just kind of looks around confused. But as he does so, he hears a well, all of you notice that there are a couple of more guards now that are coming to the sound of the commotion. The clanking of their armor kind of rushing down the hill. Ching, 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 ching. And he looks back and says, "Over here!" He clearly has their attention at this point. So that's going to bring us back to, we'll stay on initiative for this. As Kai and Serdwin, you see now kind of up the hill, winding path, and these cobbled, kind of twisting roads. There are two more guards coming down, responding to Captain Firetag's distress.
Are they like?
You guys can kind of act together if you want.
Okay, I would just say, I've got to get him to a temple.
What? Oh, goodness gracious, what happened here?
Somebody threw a kunai at him. I don't know. I've got to get him to help. And then I was
crying.
Hurry on then, boy. Good on you. Yeah.
I just don't want them chasing us like we're fleeing from the scene. Even
Right.
though we kind of are a little bit.
Sure.
And I'm warp stepping with my 2 action points.
Okay.
For 60
worth noting,
feet
that is
towards
like a
the temple.
semi-magical effect.
Ah.
Like, as you do that
Then-
past them, it's just enough. We'll say you still do it, and it's just enough to where they like double take, because again, the space where you're running seems to accordion to your will and contract, and they just kind of like shake their heads and then keep running down the hill.
Yeah, they don't know what magic is really. That's fine.
It's true. Awesome. Anything from you, Sari?
No, we're. I don't really have a lot to do, so we're just hanging out.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Give me to the place where I'm not bleeding anymore.
Of course. Ollie.
I will not become immobile. That seems
Okay,
like it would be,
great. Yeah. That is Ceridwen's activated ability from his vertex. Is he can make gravity so absolute right around him that he is immovable.
That would be very not useful right now.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're right.
That brings us to Ollie.
I think that I can use 3 actions to get to this guy, because I don't want to throw the one knife that I have.
Yeah, he is kind of starting to climb up this trellis here.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, I will.
There's also stink, smoke, kind of effluviously in the air.
Stink smoke.
If I were to get to this square, could I hit him without throwing the knife?
I don't think so.
You know what? Fuck it. If he's going away anyway, I only have one. I will get to there and throw the knife.
All right, yeah. Make an attack roll. I believe it will be dexterity. We'll say you can take proficiency on this, so +2.
So that will be a +5. I
Not
will.
too shabby.
I will make this as a deception check. 'Cause
Oh,
that's
it's
the same
bonus.
number.
Sure. Weird, but okay. Yeah, with a 19, you for sure land the blow. You just throw the dagger. It flies remarkably true. It's easily weighted towards the point and as he continues to climb. You vaguely recognize that he's speaking ancient. He's speaking Old Veo.
Is he particularly cold, Sid? Do you think is he like more room temperature than normal, or?
I don't know. I can't tell that right now.
You could.
No, I can't. I can only do it once an hour.
Oh, once an hour.
Did I hear that? Did I hear what he said?
Yeah. Do you want to make an intelligence check?
Yeah.
society.
I would like to know
Society
what he
check.
said. Society check.
Society check.
Oh, it's blind check, and I tell me what.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. What?
Man, that was
It's a
great.
blind. He is realizing it's a blind check, and we can't just tell him. So him walking away makes
went
it look difficult.
downstairs. And now we can't
He
hear
was.
him.
Yeah.
Oops. It's
Yeah.
blind check. I have no idea how well you did. Let's see.
I'm blind.
Oh wow, really excellent. So yeah. Also, I got to work on my poker face because what I'm supposed to do is just tell you what you know, and you're not supposed to know how well you rolled. Because I can, if you fail, I can give you bad information, right? And you just be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's definitely what I'm supposed to know. So anyways, this is you're pretty confident in this. He uses a derogatory term for Oleander that is, it has a couple of meanings, like, but it's like culprit, bandit, or thief.
Spoilers.
Oh, my, that was rather rude.
Did he say a bad word?
Sort of. It was more of like a. Oh, I don't know how. What's the word I'm looking for?
Accusation.
Shit. Not slander.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, sure.
That brings us to Ollie. Vestron.
Get to go again.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Boy, what to do? I think I will probably just keep. Well, how close am I to Captain Firetag?
So he's probably maybe 20, 30 feet over this way, along this road down the bridgeway,
Okay.
within range of the ninja's attack. Basically,
I see.
he hasn't come any closer since then. The flare is still right here in the middle of the road. It's burning bright red. Your allies went underneath the bridge and jumped over the brook and climbed up this like kind of wooded, mossy embankment.
I feel like I won't be able to jump over the brook carrying
I feel like you're probably right.
these two individuals. And I think the likelihood that I'm going to be able to catch the others is pretty minimal. So, do I know the direction towards Evie's house?
The direction of almost everything from here is up the hill because you're at sea level, right? You're at the K.
Okay.
There are a couple of roads that take you up, but like it's very much like all the winding, meandering roads lead up the mountain towards the Lumen City, which is the main district where all the like government buildings are, and then past that are the other residential districts. And then high up on the hill from here, if you somehow could teleport a mile or more, is your house, the Ridgeline district, and the school.
I'd like to try to teleport a mile or more.
Sure.
I mean, I think I just keep trying to. Well, actually, I pause for a second and ask if Evie and Kijani feel like they can run on their own.
I mean, I can, but we really got to get Kijani some help.
I am not very fast by myself. But I
I'm
can
still
do it.
around, and you can call me for help too,
Okay.
even though you can't see me.
Yeah, he's just up. You guys are like over here. You took cover under the bridge, or close to under the bridge over here, and Ollie is up here. I don't know how quickly the stream is responding to. I don't know how the lag is, but
I'm
Gotcha.
closer to the
mhm.
was really
Closer
almost
to
got
the-
up to him.
Veteran will scream to Ollie and say, "I need you to help me carry one of these two." Is Kijani?
How often
He's
can I
not
use
injured,
Hardlight?
right? Like
I'm very injured.
you are injured.
he got hit by
He
an
had his little
arrow.
arm
His
blown
arm is
off,
basically
yeah.
snapped off. Yeah.
You did. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why we gotta get him help
Okay.
first. First and foremost.
Ify, you run alongside of us.
Okay.
Kijani, I'll carry you. And so we start running towards the nearest temple.
Okay. Are you gonna take these stairs up and come past Captain Firetag, or you want to run back down across the bridge you came from and find another road up the hill? It'll take you longer, but or northward. You could go up here and take another road that goes up.
Or if you want to take Kijani, keep going, and I'll go talk to Captain Firepants and see if I can get him to calm down while you go help Kijani.
Whichever is the fastest way to get to the temple.
Yeah, the fastest way from here for sure is going to be past Captain Firetag.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. As you begin to rush up, we will break initiative here. Hop out. We're still going to be kind of describing everything step by step, but I'm not going to make you guys do it kind of broken up like that. Veteran, as you run up the stairs, you're carrying Kijani. Kijani, are you maintaining the shield?
How often can I use the ability?
Once per hour.
Where does it say that on the?
It should have a frequency if it has that. If you
Oh,
click
no.
the
I'll have to adjust that. I think it is. Oh no, it's just one action activity.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're
2 action
fine.
activity. 2 action
Yes.
activity.
He will. The guy's running away from us, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll let the shield go and just like grab on fully to Veteran
Okay. Good to know.
with his one arm. And like, he's breathing very heavily, but not really making much noise.
Got it. Sorry, I need to adjust this. This is gonna be a
As we're running in Vezran's ear, he's going to say, was that wrong?
Vezran is still sprinting. He's like, what? What was what wrong?
I used magic again. This time on purpose.
No, Kijani, that was very right, given the circumstances.
Okay.
As you come up around, you're rushing past, you run right by Captain Firetag. He's looking like, now wait just a minute. What the damn hell?
My arm is dangling off me.
Kijani, Vezran says, look at him and ask me why I'm running. And she just takes off again.
Yeah, and
Also, your name is pronounced Theatar.
I joined the group of them and like, you have a dagger in you. There's one over there too, and there's one in him. I don't know where he went. Bye.
Damn hell you care about a little leafer? Genevieve, what are you doing?
Oh, Evie is gonna get mad, so she's gonna
Yeah,
run
yeah.
up and like skate, skate or slide almost into him, and be like, "That's my friend, and he needs help, and you need to stop being so mean."
Genevieve, it is not safe out here. There's
No,
a lunatic running around with...
Dude throwing daggers around.
Well, taking her to the temple, and I like pick her up and like put her on my back.
Miss Quinn, is that you? As you all kind of rush past him, making your way along up the hill, you pass the other two guards who are rushing down. Oh, good gracious! What are you all doing out after? Are you quite all right?
No. I am in.
No, injured. Getting to the temple. Goodbye.
The second one. Good show.
I threw a knife at the guy.
Over her shoulder, she's gonna be like, "Look for the guy with the daggers, please."
Yeah, and even as you guys have been running past him, he's long kind of gotten up onto the roof and kind of scurried away.
He probably smells really bad, so it might be easier to find him.
Vezran says, your compatriot Thomas needs your help, and she keeps running.
Despite the speed and the very shortness of the interaction, you can see them kind of look both disgruntled and a little frightened at the mention of Thomas. Like, and they'll head on down the hill.
Evie, as we're running and you have your I have you piggybacked. You can, like, where you touch my skin, it's actually like feverish almost, or seems that way at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Ollie, you're kind of warm. Are you okay?
What? Yeah, I feel fine.
Okay.
I look around and make sure that I didn't get stabbed and didn't and like just the adrenaline's going.
No,
Yeah.
You feel like you're kind of cooking from the inside. I just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, I feel.
There's smoke coming out of your. Never mind.
Okay. So as you all rush up through the winding streets of the First K to the very first little temple to the Sphinxes it's the oldest temple in the city. It's almost forgotten, except by those poor and squalid individuals who make their home in the First K and traveling sailors. It's an unassuming little building with a kind of limestone rotunda. As you kind of rush past the tall marble columns, there's not any statues outside. There are just carvings of sphinxes kind of etched into the columns outside. As you rush in, there are 3 small, maybe foot-tall marble statuettes of the sphinxes sitting around a water basin in the center of the room. There is a gray-robed young lady who's got kind of a smock kind of up over her face, almost like a nun's attire. And she's going around actually putting out the candles in the temple. as you all rush in. It's a quiet place, and as your feet kind of clamber over the cement floor, first Kai and Saradwin arriving long before anyone else, she turns, "Oh, goodness gracious, this is a holy... What has happened? Bring him here."
Please help.
Somebody stabbed him at range.
At range.
She helps him over, limping over to the water basin. She takes up some water in her hand and holds it to your lips, and as you drink just a little bit of water, and as you do, Saradwin, something really unusual happens. You do feel a wash of healing energy come over you, and you feel the relief as the wound in your side begins to stitch up and becomes just like an itchy scab. And you're able to breathe more easily. But there are also these whispers in the back of your mind. That portend of... it's something you've never experienced before, and you've been to the temple on many occasions with your family. Something about this feels artificial. That's all I'll say for now. Shortly after, the rest of the party comes stumbling in. Goodness gracious, what has happened here?
Same thing has happened to them. Please help him.
Kijani is like close to passing out at this point.
Come
All
here,
the
small-
adrenaline and everything is gone.
And she'll take up some water and hold it to your lips. And kind of splash some over your leaves, your body. And you can feel healing energy infuse you, and you are just tired now. Tired and sore, but your arm kind of just sprouts forth.
He looks around, looks for the tallest, most himbo, and climbs up Ollie's shirt and just like gets on his shoulders and kind of wraps around and goes to sleep.
It's very warm. It's cozy.
So warm. So warm, in fact.
the plant is very happy.
No. Normally, I would be obligated to reach out to your parents. Tell me what's happened, and we can find you help. What are you doing out so late?
We were walking around, talking with Torphoros, trying to explain the ascension, because his uncle is ascending tomorrow. And we were attacked. Just out of the blue, I got a knife in my stomach.
Make a diplomacy check. Or deception, your choice. Besrin, instinctively, you reach out to kind of comfort her in this moment. And
Like the temple person?
yes,
Oh.
to comfort her in this moment.
To sort of... Okay.
And you trigger the Mind Vertex ability. Touch of Obedience. Your Imperious Touch erodes the target's willpower, making it easier to control them. The target attempts a will save. On a critical success, they are unaffected. On a success, they become stupefied until the end of this current turn. On a failure, they become stupefied until the end of your next turn. And on a critical failure, they become stupefied for 1 minute.
Vesrin says, I mean, it is the first night of summer. We've just been released from classes. We were just out exploring the city on our first night of freedom for 9 months.
What would be... You don't have a spellcasting ability yet, but what would be your spell save? Let's see.
I don't know.
Wisdom, so 10 plus
15.
3 plus 2, 15. Okay. She fails on that, so she becomes stupefied until the end of... For the next 12 seconds, basically, she becomes stupefied, which she takes a -1 penalty to wisdom checks, and that includes her perception check against Ceridwen's deception score. So her mind becomes befuddled by your beguiling touch. What was that deception score?
It's
You don't
blind.
know. I see. Here we go. Yeah, you easily exceed the difficulty class on this. And she... Of course, that's awful. Should I call the guard for you and get you an escort home?
I think
The
they're
guard-
on their way.
We saw one of them coming to help, but we just got here as fast as we could.
I heard the commotion, but I had no idea. Yes, someone will be here shortly. Why don't you all take a rest here, and we'll make sure you get home safely. Goodness gracious! Are you Genevieve?
Evie's like looking at the floor, trying really hard to not be seen, but damn it. Yes, ma'am, that's
Dear.
me.
Gods, I am so glad you are not hurt. Can't imagine how much trouble we'd be in if... Well, I am just so glad you are not hurt.
Mhm. Thanks for healing my friends who were hurt.
Well, of course, that's my job.
Vestrin butts in and says, we are so very grateful for your hospitality, but because we don't know who actually attacked us, we would like to see our own ways home.
Oh, are you certain? Perhaps you should... I'm certain it will be
I'm
safe here in
certain.
the temple. Oh, well, do be careful, then.
Absolutely. Never can be too careful.
No,
and-
indeed.
Vestrin grabs hold of Evie's hand and starts strutting out of the temple.
She's going.
Okay.
Absolutely no.
Topharos,
options
who
from
has
her.
been quiet this whole time, quickly follows after you.
Sarajin turns around and says, "Thanks again. I really do appreciate it. That hurt a lot."
What?
And then
That's what
leave.
we're here for.
Of
Okay,
course.
goodbye.
I'll scoop up Kirani.
Kajani's already scooped up on you, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like snuggled into your hood or your collar at this point.
Right. Kajani is hiding your collar. All right. As you all make your way back out into the streets and head up the steep, sloping streets up towards the Lumen City, as you get further and further away from the First K district. Oh, Vexy lady. Further and further away from the First K district, you find more and more street lamps and lights. There are more and more people out strolling around. You get into a wealthier area of the city where there's BJ. There's just a lot of people, very wealthy-looking people out carousing, laughing. Some of them in like ball attire, clearly on their way home from some sort of socialite event. And it's never quiet in the Lumen City. So you all kind of stick to the shadows, keeping your collars high. Where are you headed specifically? Are you going to your respective domiciles, or are you all trying to go somewhere particular?
No, Genevieve home first, Kajani
Yeah.
home first, and then we'll figure it out.
All right.
Vestrin is dead set on getting Evie home
Excellent.
safely.
Well, so in that case, for the purpose of roleplay, we're gonna stop right there for tonight. I want to take an opportunity to go over all of your abilities one at a time, so that you all understand them carefully, and understand what other people can do for the purposes of like coordinating in the game. Some of them won't be that important at this point, but will be at some point, so we'll go through them here. And we'll pick up next time at Genevieve's house, as you guys drop off Genevieve for the evening. Ceridwen, with the Vertex of Gravity, you have the half of your weight, basically. You don't trigger pressure plate traps, and you can reduce your fall damage by up to half your level. You can carry one more bulk than normal before becoming encumbered, and you can increase your maximum bulk by 2. You also have the reaction Immovable. The trigger is whenever a spell or effect would force you to move. You can do this once per hour. You lock yourself in place, defying even gravity, rendering you immobilized until the end of your next turn, or you dismiss the activation. While you're immobilized in this way, you can be moved only if a creature succeeds a DC 40 athletics check to shove you. You can also be moved if 8,000 pounds of pressure are placed upon you, though this is likely fatal.
Likely.
Yes. So that's you have your passive ability and then your activated ability. Veteran, you will see that you have the Mind Vertex grants you the subtle strands of beguiling magic leave little impression on your mind. You gain a +1 item bonus to saving throws against emotion and mental effects, and whenever you roll a success on a saving throw against an emotion or mental effect, you get a critical success instead. And then you have the Touch of Obedience 2-action ability that we just talked about. Chokai, you have Warp Step. Have you read your other ability?
No.
Okay. I was going to ask if you wanted to keep it secret, but I'm not going to let you know because you didn't read it.
But which?
It's on your. It's under feats.
The metal.
It's the actual
Yeah, the Vertex.
thing that it says Vertex Metal.
Vertex space. Yeah.
Space. Yeah.
Oh.
The space around your body can be folded and distorted to hold more items, causing it to appear as though you have different equipment on your person when viewed from different and obscure angles. You can interact with your immediate space around you to store or remove objects just like you would with a mundane container. Your shifted space can contain 3 additional bulk of objects, which don't count towards the bulk you're carrying. While the items are in your space and can be detected normally, you gain a +4 circumstance bonus to stealth checks to conceal any item in that space, unless someone knows specifically to check your space for non-Euclidean anomalies. It's almost like Pocket Dimension, except it's not its own separate dimension. It's a little bitty fold. You can just like tuck stuff and hold stuff.
Flavor, it's between feathers.
Yeah, that sounds great. Just between various feathers on your arms. Yeah. It's like I said, like if somebody was at a different, 2 people viewing you from across the courtyard on different sides, it might look like you've got a sword equipped or a staff equipped, based on just how you have stuff arranged in your own like non-Euclidean envelope. And then you have Warp Step, which allows you to spend 2 actions to get 2 strides and a +5 item bonus to speed. Genevieve, you're just super cool.
I have great eyes.
I have great eyes. Yeah. Kijani, you have the Vertex of Light. You warp light around you and wrap it around you, hiding your form in a prismatic cocoon. As long as you are not in darkness, you can attempt a stealth check to hide, even if you aren't concealed and have no cover against a creature. When you succeed on a stealth check to hide from a creature while you are not in an area of total darkness, you also become concealed to that creature. You kind of have to understand the grit of Pathfinder to get this, but basically, when you're concealed, that means a creature knows what 5-foot square you're in, but not exactly where you are, and they have a harder time hitting you with attacks. So you can kind of warp light around you, very similar to like Tony Stark's jet in Spider-Man. Like you're just... Does that make sense? It's like camouflage, active camo, basically. There were so many better references I could have made to make that easier, but it's okay. I just, how I feel about Spider-Man. And then you have Hard Light, where you can make light become an item in your hand.
Mhm.
Oleander, you have incandescent sight, and also your body temperature rises significantly. You radiate warmth. You gain resistance to cold damage equal to half your level, minimum 1. And Topharos, Jerry, when you watch this later, oh, I didn't actually put it on your character sheet. I guess you'll want that. You have the Borrow Time ability, which allows you to make someone quickened and then slowed. You also have, you react to threats as though everything is moving in slow motion. You gain a +2 item bonus to initiative rolls. And Vesperin. We did Vesperin. We went out of order.
Yeah, we
So that's
talked
everybody.
about me.
Awesome. Great. So as you guys are headed back this evening after an ordeal of a day, really would love to catch back up with Ganyan, figure out what's going on. You've got Topharos' uncle's Zenith just tomorrow, and kind of coming to terms with the fact that Topharos is certainly going to want to go and see his uncle, but his uncle is a Hexalin and would be able to see the collars, so some consideration to be made there. Not to mention there will definitely be other witnesses there who come to manually enact the Zenith ritual for Atticus. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut off the stream for tonight. Thanks for coming out, everybody. We will see you next time, next Sunday, on the Second Star Studios production of Injustice.
Bye, Switch.
Bye.
Good night.